This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about a couple of companies that are going to be at Gencon, and I like to do them individually. Today we're going to be talking about Stonemaier Games. I have been, over the last 6 months, I never played much of their games until recently. I played, Scythe, and it was somebody else's copy. Since I was able to get my hands on Expedition, and enjoy that, I just couldn't believe the quality of the games. And then I started, after playing that, I went back and I brought everything in for Scythe again, and only this time I wanted to do it solo. And with the single player engine that it has, I was very impressed with that. I next started going around and I have Wingspan, and I started playing that and was drawn into that. Now these are games that I've never really played because I always thought they were just too Euro-y. And I find that, I'm kind of been changing a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I still like the whole, war type of, get a whole bunch of guys on a map and let's just slug it out type of games. I love those, and the dungeon crawls and stuff like that. But I've been finding that I have been very much pulled into this universe of certain games by certain creators, and it's games that have really spoken and said a lot to me personally. By the way, believe it or not, when you see a game that is packaged to perfection, where every bit of space is correctly utilized, and the quality of the components, and how that builds the theme of the actual game, and how they pour their souls into it in a way, it kind of speaks to who the creator is. And Jamie is a very, very creative and fantastically wonderful designer, and I've been discovering that. My next thing that I want to get is Charterstone, because I take a look at that universe and what it kind of says to me a little bit. It's just this thing that almost like Everdell does to me, which isn't created by them, of course, but there's just this incredible village full of thought. And as I've been expanding myself more into Wingspan and playing more of Scythe and Expedition, which I think is just absolutely wonderful, it kind of speaks to the creator and all the things that he says through these tremendous games. It speaks of his passion for games, how things are just so just perfectly done to an immaculate perfection that I can never understand. And this week, if you guys are lucky enough to go to Gencon and have a chance to stop by and pick up some of their games, or get a chance to, if I don't even know if Jamie's going, if you have a chance to meet him, it's something that I don't think you can ever go wrong with, is picking up a Stonemaier game. Viticulture, which is another thing that I kind of have been leaning to and taking a look at, and how you take that and make that a passion project, and how well all these games play, and when you play them you feel something. I wish I can explain it, But I just had to come on here and talk about this, because this is just something that I'm very, very passionate about. And as I keep on exploring more and more, you take Scythe, for instance, okay? And every game that comes out from Stonemaier virtually becomes, a game that is considered one of the best games all time. It's always in the top 10 of BGG in some fashion or way. And how long did Scythe, reign in the top 5? And, here you have a war game. And usually when, you can call it a war game, but there's battling in it to some degree. And how that is taken, where the focus isn't on the fighting as much as it is the overall theme of the game, which is trying to build resources and move yourself and develop yourself and to create and conquer and get these victory points to ultimately win. And even in the solo game, as things kind of go sour for you, how you move your mechs, your people, building up certain resources. There's just an elegance about it that stands out. And recently with Expedition, which you can get at Gencon, and the reason we're talking about this is I want you to go over to that booth and pick up this game, because this game is just something really, really wonderful. I enjoy playing it solo as much as I do playing with my son. And the figures and every bit of the components for it are something that goes beyond words as far as, an overall beauty for it. And it becomes this thing where you actually see the personality of the person that creates these games, okay, and the people that he surrounds himself with, as I've seen and met some of these wonderful people. Elizabeth is unbelievable, especially with Wingspan. Okay, that there is this passion, and you feel what they do and how they put a game together, unlike anybody else. And people should take this as a blueprint on how to do things. Okay, put yourself into the game. Too many people say, I try to make a game that will be successful, and because they made it, they believe it will be successful. I don't get that, and I've listened to some of his vlogs, and what has always impressed me was the fact that it wasn't about being, he's never watched a review. Never watched a review, not one. Okay? Because he believes enough in what he creates and the people around him that he puts himself into that game. And if it sells, well, guess what? That's fine. But this is my vision. This is what I see. And too many people go into Kickstarters and things like that and try to make a hit instead of trying to put themselves into their creation. Make it personal. Like how immaculate things are inside those boxes when you open up those boxes. That's attention to detail. That is an extension of who Jamie is. And this is why Stonemaier will always be successful and always make wonderful, wonderful experiences. Experiences that transcend gaming in a way where they become events in a way. And as I continue through this library, I'm just completely blown away. Gencon, couple days away. Okay, go to Stonemaier Games. Go check out all their wonderful, wonderful games. If you haven't experienced what I have, if you are somebody that is a heavy miniature person or a war gamer or someone that has just said, maybe these aren't for me, give some of these a try. Take a look at some of these. open up your universe a bit to that to which you are not familiar with, like I've done recently. And I think what you're going to find is that there are things that are going to move you because the person that creates these things put a lot of passion, heart, and themselves into each and every product that they have. And that's what you get when you buy a Stonemaier game. Go by their booth. I'm telling you, check out the latest offering. It is absolutely fantastic. I love painting it. I love playing it. And it's just one of those games that after I play it, it stays with me. And that is what you want out of a game. Until next time, everybody, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.